Yo, is he the softest ball?
That ain't being professional. That's being
Crash out time.
Okay.
Does Tatum get punished because the Celtics squad is so good?
I just think his running mate Jaylen Brown is more like I'll be more afraid of Jaylen Brown than Jayson Tatum.
Wow. I love Tatum. I've been a Tatum fan, but watching him lately, it's not aggressive, bruh. It's too quiet. It's too laid back. He's too laid back.
Look, is Jayson Tatum a great player? Yes. Are his skills magnified and his mistakes marginalized compared to Jaylen's mistakes being magnified and his skills marginalized? Yes. Do Celtics fans and Celtics media overrate what he is now in favor of what his attributes say he should and could be? Possibly stunting the growth of Jayson Tatum because he's already satisfied with the player he is now? Keep going, Free. Yes. Yes.
As a whole becomes a part, I strike to burn, and the flame returns.
Welcome back to the channel. G-Mac back with some thoughts, with some opinions, with some reactions. Wipe your feet off as you come in, hit the like button, and hopefully you stay a while. Okay, so everyone's been up in arms about Brandon Jennings calling Jayson Tatum soft.
Yo, is he the softest ball?
That ain't being
superstar ever?
professional.
And the emotions, the reactions have ranged from pure anger, mostly from people in this area, Boston, to rebutting with pure counting stats. Success he's had as being part of a team. I mean, even Jayson Tatum responded.
What made you kind of clap back at him for calling you the softest superstar in Celtics history? I don't know. Had some time yesterday.
Some might even call the response a little soft, which kind of alludes to Brandon's point. That was very, very, very incomplete and just not articulated well at all. But he's probably not able to. Most aren't. Does Jayson Tatum's personality matter in the situation that he's in? No. But any confusion and anything up for debate deserves context. And that's where I come in. As a guy from Boston who's missed probably no more than 10 or 15 Celtics games since like 2002, who's made Celtic content in the past, specifically from 2019 to like this past summer, sporadically, that specifically and thoroughly touches on this very issue, mainly through the theme of Jayson Tatum versus Jaylen Brown, as I've been pro Jaylen Brown from the inception. So all in all, it makes me especially qualified to speak on the shit. So, using my own content, pretty much untapped content because of my own inconsistency in creating content, I'm giving you the most comprehensive and tangible breakdown of how you feel when you watch Jayson Tatum play as it relates to Brandon Jennings' comments. So in a nutshell, those who acknowledge that Tatum's stats make Brandon Jennings look like an idiot with those comments, but also kind of understand where he's coming from, but don't really want to say that out loud because it makes you look like an idiot because of the stats. And if you're in the camp that believes Jaylen Brown is an equal player or better, then this 3-part expose is for you. But before we fully jump in, I'd like you to take a look at this 60-second clip that pretty much is going to set you up for what you're in for in this 3-part expose.
See, I'm gonna let the rest of this go. We'll go right back to Jayson Tatum. This shit is ridiculous. Look, my man can't even be fake tough for 2 seconds. It's like that scene that set it off where all around the round table trying to play out the Godfather roles, and then here comes Jayson Tatum.
Shopping sprees.
And sure, Jayson Tatum gets hate, but mostly it's because after 7 years, people realize that on the court, more often than someone should who's considered a top 5 player, Jayson Tatum reverts back to that mama's boy who's teaching you how to tie and introducing his friends. Also why alpha mentality Jaylen Brown was never able to play second fiddle. He knows Jayson Tatum
is a good kid.
So with that said, let's take this walk. Okay, so starting off the saga, highlighting the video, is Jayson Tatum overrated / is Jaylen Brown just as good? Here's part 1 of the 3-part expose. Jayson Tatum is soft.
As a lifelong Celtics fan born and raised in Boston, the respective narrative attached to Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown irk me. Because even as I weigh the balance of advanced stats, eye test, raw stats, and especially, most importantly for me, mentality when evaluating players, since the beginning of their careers, I've always been pro Jaylen Brown. I started posting on YouTube 2 weeks before Kyrie left for Brooklyn. I said this. Let me give my opinions on the two. Relative to who's gonna be the superstar, who's gonna be the all-star, who's nicer than who. Listen, if you watch basketball, if you know basketball, and you're sleeping on my nigga Jaylen Brown, they have similar ceilings. This is how I'm tired of motherfuckers talking about Jayson Tatum is levels above Jaylen Brown. He got things to work on. If he could put Jaylen Brown's aggressiveness into Jayson Tatum, if we could put Juice's aggressiveness into Jayson Tatum, I think Jayson Tatum would be that nigga. If we could combine these two, if you could put Jayson Tatum's polished offensive game into Jaylen Brown, oh my lord. These two niggas, to me, are like Tracy McGrady and Vince Carter in Toronto. Jayson Tatum in this scenario would be Vince Carter. Jaylen Brown, of course, Tracy McGrady, the late bloomer, the one they didn't think would make it, who ended up becoming a fucking superstar in his own right. I need y'all to understand. Jayson Tatum is going to put on more of a workload. Jayson Tatum is going to take it upon himself to try to become a superstar because we've already placed him on the mantle. Jaylen Brown is going to take it upon himself to try to become a superstar because you motherfuckers said he couldn't do it. Because on the first night of Jayson Tatum's rookie year, when Gordon Hayward got hurt and Marcus Morris was supposed to start at power forward but didn't because of conditioning, and Kyrie barely showed up on his first night back in Cleveland to play LeBron, Jaylen Brown, who was better than all the rest of the guys ahead of him the previous year, his rookie year, but was benched for every single mistake by Brad Stevens. Well, as a starter that first night, his first time starting in meaningful minutes, Jaylen Brown had a game-high 25 for the Celtics in a loss. However, it was then that he showed me his mental toughness and competitive spirit. Speaking of which, he showed it again later in the year, that first Eastern Conference Finals run with Jayson Tatum against the Bucks. First round, game 4, on the Bucks home floor. Again, with everybody barely showing up, Jaylen was the player that night that is pretty much the player you see today on a consistent basis. Now, while he plays along with the he became great out of nowhere narrative, mostly from the media, he always made sure to make the point that his growth has largely come with opportunity. And that should have been very evident in that first Eastern Conference Finals run when Jayson Tatum put up 18.5 a game and Jaylen put up 18 a game. And that was with one less game played. Side note, in 24 games played in their career, Jaylen Brown without Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown has averaged 27, 7, and 3. Those averages only increased without Jayson Tatum since they both became focal points. So that he's only successful because of Jayson Tatum's gravity narrative has to die. But back to that first Eastern Conference Finals run. Sadly, the only narrative that came out of that, besides he's only 19, even though Jaylen Brown was like 20 going on 21, and a narrative getting debunked every day Jaylen Brown's play forces you idiots not to dismiss it, was that Jayson Tatum is the savior of the Celtics. That thought was only exacerbated by him playing with Kobe, or working out with Kobe that summer. The change in his style of play from an efficient spot-up three-point shooter and a guy who attacked the basket explosively off the first step his rookie year, to, from then till kinda now, an inefficient volume shooter who will always produce numbers because in addition to that volume, at 6'9" with more than a 7-foot wingspan, most of his shot output comes from behind the three-point line. This was no more evident and more glaring than last year, the first 3 months of last year, when Jayson Tatum was scoring 27 on 25 shots a game, on below 40% shooting and below 20% from the three-point line. Yet the response to criticism from Jayson Tatum stands to those who watch the game and understand the game beyond counting stats. But look at the numbers. Which moves me off my disrespect to Jaylen Brown in comparison to Jayson Tatum rant. Because in reality, while it's a conversation that can be had another day, if not for the imbalance in coverage pro Jayson Tatum, it's a conversation that shouldn't have to be had. Because they should both just be appreciated for all of what both bring to the table, flaws and all. And it segues me into, ladies and gentlemen, Jayson Tatum was extremely excited to be the first Celtic to score 30 points a game in a season. To be clear, Jayson Tatum will be better than Paul Pierce and Larry Bird when Donald Trump gets on a live Zoom call with Martin Luther King and Malcolm X to discuss his personal contribution to black reparations. Now, while the Celtics are the league's most storied franchise, you bitches better know it, breaking all of the barriers first, making Tatum's accomplishment a headline in the first place, to the media and overzealous fandom, before that kingdom come, shout out to Jay-Z, we must all remember that in today's NBA, 30 is the new 20. While first in total points this year, Jayson Tatum is number 1 in field goals attempted, number 2 in field goals attempted per game, number 1 in field goal misses. Plays a lot, shoots a lot, misses a lot, takes more threes and twos at 6'9", shows up when he feels like it, has trouble with guys close to his size and attributes. Look, is Jayson Tatum a great player? Yes. Does he have the tools to produce even greater and even more consistently and have an even bigger impact on games than he already does now? Yes. Are his skills magnified and his mistakes marginalized compared to Jaylen's mistakes being magnified and his skills marginalized? Yes. Do Celtics fans and Celtics media overrate what he is now in favor of what his attributes say he should and could be? Possibly stunting the growth of Jayson Tatum because he's already satisfied with the player he is now? Keep going, Free. Yes. Yes.
Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, subscribe if you like the content. And with that said, hopefully you've been entertained and informed while passing this precious time that we have. And hopefully I've earned your sub. I go by the name of Matt. Been doing it for GP. Till next time.
You can't treat him like any of the other niggas around here, because he ain't like any of the other niggas around here.
Never did me, I spit the truth. All you aware, fear-driven niggas get the boot. All of you squares couldn't fit up in my circle. All of us spread and will hurt you severe. Slow your roll, nigga, patience is a virtue.